Welcome back to Soapy. Wait, I can feel you looking at me before
you know what I'm
I
thinking?
even start talking.
I'm mad. I wore that same exact color green on the episode that we did with Christian and Tracy, and you teased me mercilessly about it.
No, I didn't.
You look like a leprechaun. I did not.
What are you talking about?
You did.
I did?
We have proof of it, and now you have the audacity to wear the same color that you teased me about.
Yeah, I like it. Reminds me of St. Patrick's Day. Too bad it's not.
You look great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's paying you?
CBS Paramount.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
How's the summer going?
Well, it's going.
Yeah.
Have you been traveling?
We leave tomorrow morning. We are taking Monty to. We're going to drive from LA to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do one night in Vegas and see. There's this Darren Aronofsky show at the Sphere. That's I think like a nature documentary kind of thing. We're going to see that, and then why are you laughing?
You're taking your kid to Vegas.
I know.
I know. It's supposed to be great for kids, I say, but
We're doing one night, and the reason we're stopping there is just to break up the trip because
Yeah.
then we're leaving the following morning to go to Zion, and we're staying at this really cool place that's like these vintage Airstreams.
I know you've done that before. You
Yeah,
went
yeah,
to
yeah.
Joshua Tree. I've always wanted to go to those places.
Are you? Well, you've RV'd, so you're kind of outdoorsy.
Yeah, but Airstreams are different.
How so?
They just feel different. They feel more like a home. RVs are like a traveling bus.
Gotcha. And yeah, these are not. We're not roughing it. There's running water, really comfortable beds.
I can't imagine you roughing it.
No, it's not mine.
Or Rob, for that matter.
No,
Definitely not.
Monty could rough it. Monty
Yeah.
could take care of himself.
Yeah, of course.
So we're doing that, and then I have a busy couple of weeks at work, and then we're going to try and take another trip later in the summer. I need a beach. I need like a
Yeah.
vacation. This is a fun road trip.
What is the schedule of days? Like, do you guys have a big hike? Because we get like 5 weeks in the summer, or 4 weeks generally, but 5
It
weeks.
changes
this
year to year. Last summer we had 3 weeks off, which was terrific because, and we knew, I'd say, once the calendar year started. So we knew in September that we had 3 weeks off in June. So that was easy to plan. This year, I don't know why, but the general consensus is we do 3 weeks on, 1 week off, but sometimes we'll do 2 weeks on, followed by a week off, and then we'll do 4 weeks. So it's never like
Kind
an
of hard
exact
to have that
science.
1 week. I mean, you think like, oh, you've got a week off, but it's, if you're working the next week, you have to get ready for those shows. So it's not really that much of a break. So you kind of need like more of, you need like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I always take, if we're not traveling and we have a hiatus week, I will take the weekend through Tuesday or Wednesday maybe, and I'll say, I'm gonna not work for these few days. And then come Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll start printing my pages for the following week. And then I'll start going over the lines because, why are you laughing? What?
Because I don't care about your process. So then
Wow.
so then I print it, and then this is how I highlight. I take a highlighter and I'm kidding.
Don't touch. Don't touch.
I'm kidding.
Do we have HR
You know
here?
what? This reminds me of our last interview, Carla.
Uh-huh.
I was just thinking, no, this is what I was thinking about. I was thinking about how you're talking about how you print and stuff. And you live here and work. And I was thinking about Carla Mosley, who we interviewed, and how, well, now she has her kids.
Yeah.
She's moved her family to Atlanta. But for like a year, she had, like, her vacation time was really probably
Traveling.
trying to see her kids.
Yes.
Right? So imagine how hard that is.
No, well, and I think we covered this once before, and you had said maybe it was in the episode with Sheila, I can't remember, but that you've worked out of town, but only to do,
Oh, right,
a Hallmark movie or something where you were gone
right.
for a few weeks.
Yeah.
The longest stretch we had was Rob was running a show in Atlanta, and he had to, the writer's room was here in LA, but there was a stretch where he had to be in Atlanta for like 4 or 6 weeks, and that was so challenging.
Did you get there? Did you guys go?
We did. And then he came home and we would go. This was also before Monty was school aged, so it was
a little easier.
easy-ish.
Yeah.
But that is a whole nother level to I think a whole nother obstacle to the life-work balance that we talk about, and how
I know we talk about this, and then there's like the big movie stars, and they go away for like months at a time, or they go far. So I can't imagine.
I have a friend who, when she became a mother, told her agent and manager that I think before her kids were born, she would say, I want them to be along for the ride. And then once they got here, she said, no, they are the ride. So I don't want them to have to be uprooted and different schools and all that. And she had the ability to say, I'm only going to work in Los Angeles. And
Are you talking about me?
no, this is someone who I respect. No, I'm not talking about you. But
Because I did the same. I mean, once I had Mike, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna travel. I can go out and do whatever. And then once I had Charlotte, I was like, no.
yeah, but I also think if I were given an opportunity to launch a new show,
I know it'd be hard. I'd be hard pressed to say no. Right.
same. And I think, and I also have friends who are parents who have done a first season show in Atlanta and do what Carla did, where they'll sort of make it work and go back and forth, and then wait to see if it is going to be a longer commitment, then to decide bigger picture about moving and things like that. But you got to go where the work takes you, I guess, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a homebody. I'm a typical Cancer. I don't want to leave my I don't want to leave my shell.
I speak for everyone who knows you that we're glad you stay home.
You were glad I stayed home because you like to get out every day.
I do.
You get a little antsy. You're like, I got to get out.
antsy.
Yes. I remember we went somewhere for like Easter and we stayed in a house in Palm Springs and you're like, hey, do you want to go like get some coffee? Do you want to go out and do, and I was just
I need
like,
a
God,
drive.
You need to get out.
That's new information for everybody that we have traveled together.
We have. Yeah.
The pandemic caused a lot of desperation.
Yeah, there was a lot of desperation in the pandemic.
But no, even especially during the pandemic, I remember when at the very beginning when everybody was locked down.
We would go to the beach together. We would drive to the beach together.
That was really fun.
No, it was fun.
Time tunnel
approaching. We still do it.
You do?
Every tunnel. We were just in Europe and we were in Italy and we were going through a tunnel and Charlotte and I both go, time tunnel approaching.
We haven't talked about that. How was that?
That is so funny. It was amazing. My stepdaughter got married in Italy and it was, beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also since last we've chatted, they announced our show. Had a big press announcement.
Oh, yeah.
How did that go for
yeah.
you? How'd you feel about it?
I felt like I couldn't keep up. It was like my birthday and the announcement and working all at once. So it was hard to manage all that. But, I mean, I hope it does well.
Yeah, people seem excited about it.
I know. What about you?
Yeah, it was very exciting. I think...
And I'm also terrible at social media. Like, to be fair, I struggle with it. You're really good about it. I struggle.
I don't know that
I feel like you are. You're better about posting and doing all that.
Well,
like,
I think I used to. I've certainly pumped the brakes a bit because
I just want my kid.
Trust me, I get it. No, I think what excited me, the fans seem very excited, and I think a lot of the actors that have chimed in have been like, "Oh, this is so overdue, and this is such a great idea." And so I hope we get to do.
I did try and find some people that would fill in for me when I didn't want to be next to you. I was like, okay, Elizabeth Hendrickson. I was like, you look kind of like me. Maybe you should sit in here with Greg.
I have a long list of people that
you'd rather sit with. Thanks.
You ready to get to some trivia?
I owe you like $100 at this point.
We're getting up there.
I know.
You ready?
Speak.
Texas, that is a state, and Somerset.
Rob is from.
That's right. Are spin-offs of which daytime soap opera?
Are spin-offs?
Do you know what a spin-off is, Rebecca?
Dallas would be one, right?
Wasn't Dallas the original show, or was Dallas the spin-off? Wasn't Knots Landing a spin-off of Dallas?
Wait, was Texas the name of a show? Is that what you're saying to me?
Bless her. Bless her green little heart.
We're going to get the answers in a minute. Okay, we'll be back.
And do we have a guest today?
We do. And Scott Clifton from The Bold and the Beautiful. He's the best. Stick around. Welcome back. Okay, Greg, Somerset, New Jersey, and Texas.
Yes.
Not the state. Our
Not the
spin-offs.
state.
Well, there's spin-offs of what of which daytime soap?
Another World.
Both of them?
Another World. Yes, Texas was spun off from Another World in 1980, and Somerset was spun off in 1970. Both spun off from Another World.
Wait, 1980?
And 1970.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I wasn't born in 1970.
Yes, you were. you were, living the life of a middle-aged woman in New York City.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, our next guest is definitely not 70, nowhere near it. I've known him since he was like a young little, to me, he was like a teenager on General Hospital. Scott Clifton of The Bold and the Beautiful, now playing Liam.
Oh, yeah. Do you have any idea how difficult that was for me just now to not laugh while listening to you guys do your intro? I'm supposed
Right.
to stay quiet over here.
No, you're not.
Well,
No, you're
I
not.
did some of my best acting.
Well, we like
No,
a good
you
laugh.
haven't.
I
I've
like a
seen
good
some
laugh.
Way better acting than that.
But of course, you played Dylan Quartermain on General Hospital. I do
Yeah.
remember going in. We had Super Soap Weekend in Florida, and we would go and our soaps would get together from ABC. And I just remember you were just the sweetest.
Little
So you were a
duck.
kid to me. You were a
There's
kid.
a lot of hair.
There's so much
I don't know that
hair.
I'm that much older now, but back then you seemed so much younger.
I'm so happy to hear that I was perceived as sweet because my memory of that
You were, like,
entire
quirky,
time
too.
was like sure, quirky's a very diplomatic way of saying.
No, that's
like
endearing to me. I love that.
Super Soap Weekend was. I wish we had that again. Because it was also like a community thing. Like we're kind of like siloed in these separate
You
little
know,
worlds.
I
And we
agree.
all got to like.
Especially with you
Meet
guys
each other.
moving, you're not going to even have like your Y&R folks nearby.
I know. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You know what I miss most about Television City? Do you guys have 7 a.m. starts? Like, if you're-
Yeah. Like a call time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had to be there at 7, we'd do a quick block, and then I would walk over to Coffee Bean at the Grove at 7 in the morning when that place was a ghost town.
Oh, I loved it.
And I would just sit on those
do.
Adirondack chairs and like go over my lines, and I had like the whole place to myself.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
That's
Do
like a
it.
good,
Try
like,
it once before you
routine.
guys-
I never do that. Do you? I should. I've gone
No,
over
I
there to
never-
get tea, but I don't like bring my script and sit. I should.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's there. It's so lovely.
I know, it's empty.
Yeah, I've gone there to get like a coffee or something like that, but to just sit and look at your line, I'm so unprofessional though, guys. Like I'm so bad at like looking at my lines before. I just like
What?
I just
don't
like
buy
What?
wing it every day.
I don't find
It's
how is that?
terrible.
No,
it's
no,
terrible.
no. How is that?
No,
do you
shouldn't-
have a photographic memory?
No, that's actually a myth. That's not like a real thing. But we use that phrase to like denote like other just kinds of.
What do you mean?
Of short-term memory? Like there's not photographic memory is not like a technical. People memorize things and recall things in different ways, and there's short-term memory and long-term memory, so how you memorize is one thing. I memorize by just doing it. It's really hard for me to just sit and read and I know so many actors. I remember Tony Geary, like back in the day. I mean, like on General Hospital, he would just sit in silence and just read, and then he would know his lines. And I would go, how do you? There's no dialectic. There's no like interaction there, and so I don't. It took. I could spend 4 hours looking at my 30 pages of dialogue the night before, just reading it to myself and try to learn it that way. Or I could learn it in the 90 seconds we have in rehearsal right before we tape because I get to do it with
My
another
mind is
actor,
blown
you
right
know?
now.
Do you
My
mean to
mind
say-
is,
I know.
My mind
We
is
gotta-
blown because you are such an incredible actor. I mean, not to say, I just think, you're just really honest, you know? So like, I think,
Thank you.
I think that it doesn't mean you have to, I need to like look at it because otherwise.
Yeah, well, different people. I had this awesome storyline with Rena Sofer, and she would ask for scripts even earlier than they would come out because that's what she does. She needs to start learning it, and that's her process, like, weeks before, and then she'll learn all of them at the same time, and then to me, that's a superpower. I don't know how you can keep that. The minute, I don't know if you guys are like this, the minute I finish a scene,
Oh, then I'm done.
it's gone.
Oh, it's gone.
It's like
gone.
survival mechanism.
I love when people are like, should we look at the next one? I'm like, no.
No.
Tracy Bregman.
Yeah, I'm the same, yeah.
Tracy Bregman said that she gets to her car and she put it into words. I'm like, I've always done the same thing and I never put it this way. She's like, and it's as if you take everything from your computer and you put it in the trash can.
Yeah.
And she said the challenge is, and this happens to me too, is that your brain doesn't always differentiate. So when I meet somebody new, it's always a second and a third and probably a fourth time that I'll have to be like, remind me your name again.
Oh,
because
yeah.
the short-term memory is great, but it all goes.
Yeah.
It
So
all
maybe
goes
it
out
is
the
a
Yeah.
window.
short-term memory, not photographic memory, but like a
wait,
short-term memory.
Well, I don't think it's. I don't know. I think the brain's a muscle like anything else, but also like recollection and memorization are two totally different cognitive phenomena, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. You can memorize something. I can memorize something very fast as long as I'm allowed to forget it right
Sure,
afterwards.
yes.
Yeah.
But to recall something, I think is different, and that's why I know maybe like one or two monologues that I've just known for years and years, right? Like a lot of actors, they have the entire works of Shakespeare memorized,
Oh, I know,
right?
I know.
And they can just do that at any time,
Yeah.
and that's way more impressive to me.
Wait, do you honestly mean to say that if you have speeches that are, say, 5, 6, 7, 8 sentences, that you can look at
Monologues.
it,
Yeah.
that you can look at it like the morning of or even like a few minutes before?
I have to. I can't look. It took me a long time to learn this about myself, right? I mean, I've gone through so many different phases of trying to figure out what works for me, but I would be wasting so much time by trying to learn it the night before. If I just get to, I mean, we're blessed if we have time to like, hey, do you want to like say this really quick, like with the other actor? But usually that's going to take place during the rehearsal. And again, on Bold and Beautiful, it's a half an hour show. It's half the time as a regular or other soap operas, right? And so the scenes
I feel
we're
like
talking
it's
about,
not because, well, unless you have one show. I have not had a day where I rarely have a day where I have one show.
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
usually
no.
like 2 or 3 or 4.
oh yeah, no, this Monday I did 4 episodes like in a row with no breaks.
Right.
But the scenes at least,
Right. You have to
like I
break
remember
in
at General Hospital it was like 6, 7,
Well, you know
8
what?
page
It's
scenes
actually across
sometimes.
all the soaps. They're not that long anymore. The scenes are really short.
I don't know. We get
Are
some
yours are like 6 or 7?
humdingers. Not 6 or 7, but we have like 4 and 5 page scenes.
Yeah.
Okay. We
yeah.
get those,
Yeah, we do.
but they're mostly the prologue C,
Right,
which is
right.
funny.
Yeah, it's true.
Is that
That's true.
the scene that only airs
It only
on?
is in Europe? Yes,
So
yes,
it can't further the plot. It has to be like
Standalone.
Wait, can I cuss on this show?
Yes.
You can
sure?
sure
Do
as fuck
whatever you
try.
want.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I mean, whatever. Nothing can happen in the prologue scene, but those are the longest ones.
I want to go back to something
Sorry,
he said,
but in the
go ahead.
prologue scenes, because they are only airing online and abroad, do you guys take more liberties with the dialogue in those scenes?
No, really.
Not really.
You can't really. I mean,
Bold and Beautiful is such a great show to work on when it comes to the script writing and the dialogue because, yes, it's like very classic old school, like campy, like I love you, no, is that like it's that classic kind of soap dialogue, which can come off it campy and sort of and like sometimes the exposition feels like so in your face or like that the lines are said to made to be dramatic irony, but it's a little like okay, but all those mechanisms are there for a reason, and they give us so much faith to kind of massage it to make it that's another
So
thing.
it comes out of your mouth in a way that...
We had a writer on Bold and Beautiful when I first came on who I now know wrote for General Hospital for a while before that, but his name was Patrick Mulcahy, and this goes to your point. Like he was one of my favorite writers, and he ended up leaving the show, but everything he wrote was fucking poetry. I mean, it felt like you were doing Sorkin or Mamet or Shakespeare. It was
where
music.
is he? Where'd he go?
I don't know what he's writing
him
now.
up.
He's
Where
still
is he?
writing, but you would get like you do two episodes in a row, and one script would be his, and the next script would be another one of our writers that's very like just sort of simple and straightforward and still good writing, but like a totally different. And then you're like, okay, now how do I make this work from show to show
Yeah.
because it's going to feel so tonally different?
Well, that's like soaps, right? I mean, well, any show, I guess they have different writers
For each
each
episode.
episode.
Yeah.
So it is kind of an adjustment, right? You have to hope that each one has your character's voice in it.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
people take to some characters. I don't know.
Totally.
I found that with Greenlee. Greenlee was so specific, so I really could tell who
Yeah.
was writing. We had Kate Hall, and she was unbelievable. She wrote at All My Children. Now she's at General Hospital, and even at General Hospital, I would know her scripts because I'm like, she really captures
Yeah.
each person's voice and
Yeah.
character so well. Like she's really thinking about, those, anyway.
That's such
little
a
things.
gift. Yeah.
Anyway.
So wait, so you wrapped up on General Hospital when?
Oh God, 2004?
2004 is when you stopped?
No, wait, no, that can't be right. No, I started in 2002 or 2003. Yeah, and then I left around 2007, 6 or 7.
Because I feel like we started around the same time. Because I remember
Yeah.
back in the day, we would all have, we'd get, whether you were in the publicity office or sometimes if you were featured in one of the magazines, they'd bring it to your dressing room. And so,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
and back when, when we just started, like the youngins were eager to do publicity. So like
Yeah.
we were all probably in Soap Digest weekly.
A gazillion times.
God, that's true. Yeah, you started before I did though. You when I
But
got
I
there,
started
you
in
were already.
2003. But
Yeah.
it must have been within.
You keep forgetting you are much older than Scott. Okay.
He's not that much older than me.
I've got a good decade, maybe. I'm 48.
Oh shit, I'm 40.
Oh, yeah, that's
See?
close to a decade.
See?
Well,
How old are you, Rebecca? Not
damn,
the
you're 48?
I'm 48.
fuck
Oh,
you.
stop. But go on. No.
I know. I love how
no,
he
but
talks
I
how old
remember,
I am.
and I remember when we used to judge the Emmys. This is when I remember meeting you.
Oh.
We'd go to.
We went to that
ABC.
little room.
First we'd go to ABC in Burbank. And
Yeah.
we'd have a big lunch or like a big breakfast for all the actors who'd signed up to vote for the Emmys on all the soaps that were in LA.
Yeah.
And then they would take us and we'd each go into these smaller rooms of like 10 or 12. And
Yes.
remember that?
That was, I'm so happy to have had that experience because Emmy voting does not work that way anymore. Everybody's doing it
No,
alone at
I
home.
know.
But because of that experience, hearing these other actors that were viewing the reels at the same time and hearing them go, this isn't her scene, this is his scene, you lost me. Or like what, and we would comment out loud about why, no, you're not getting my vote because of X, Y, and Z. And a lot of the time, it was things that had very little to do with the acting or the performance and more to do with like almost being offended at that actor wasting our time by submitting this when they knew they had no chance of winning or something. There was like politics and resentment
Yes.
and I mean, all that stuff played a role. And having been in those rooms, like that helps you going forward.
Sure.
Like when you're submitting your own
Yeah,
stuff.
because you
know-
said like you were up against Christoph.
Oh, my
Christoph.
God.
But you and Christoph are both submitting, and you said the rules had changed, and you had put
Yeah.
together your Emmy reel, and you said it was just like you didn't even have that much work that year, but you were able to put a story together.
That was I have a lot of feelings about that moment in time because, yeah, that was the first year that it used to be you just pick one or
show.
or
You
two
could only
show
pick a
and you
show,
just,
right.
And then and it was this year where they changed it and they said, okay, you can take from up to 4 different shows and you don't have to use the entire episode as long as you're not putting things out of order and all these new rules. And I was fascinated by this and I just was lucky enough to kind of figure out how I could use that, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to use this to tell a story, right? But I didn't have the best performance. I just gamed the system better than any of the other nominees, and that was a year that, if I could go back and that was a year that Christoph should have won, needed to win, deserved to win, and he and I had lots of conversations about that. That was a big. It mattered to him because we had both won for younger and supporting, and if either one of us got that Emmy handed to us, it would have been like a record of the first actor to have all three.
It's historic.
And he that was very salient to him. And wait a minute, was that Christoph or that? No, that was not.
I think
Was
it
that?
was,
Well,
that was
no.
lead. That was lead. Because Christoph and you had both won younger.
Oh, no, yes, no, okay, sorry, I got confused for a second. I'll tell you why I got confused. Because when it happened, and he's such a damn prince. I mean, he was so wonderful, but he came up to me after and he congratulated me and he said, you did it, you got the record. And I remember I said to him, well, technically I didn't, because for supporting I tied with Billy Miller. And so I have not won in all 3 categories. I've won in 2 and tied in 1. And so the next time you win an Emmy, Christoph, you will break that record. And I think that helped. I think that mattered to him.
That's so sweet.
You know, obviously lots of regrets and feelings about that. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to become a bummer, but that change in how we do Emmys had a lot of ripple effects.
Well, all due respect to Christoph, who is as worthy and was as wonderful.
He was amazing.
Peter Bergman says it best. When you win, it means everything. And when you lose, or if you don't get nominated, you realize it's all a load of garbage.
Right,
You know?
it's true.
I know.
It is true.
You know, but I think we've all been, and you've been nominated, and it's like, of course, like if you say, hey, there's this game we're gonna play, do you wanna play the game? Well, you're like, sure, I'll play that game. And if you play the game, yeah, who doesn't wanna win the game?
Yeah.
But the game is not, it's just a bunch of, like, the real reward and the real award is the fact that we get to do this thing, right? We get to play make-believe for a living on the regular. You've been doing this for...
And it's all subjective too. Like, you know,
That's
people
the
are
thing,
voting and like, you don't know if like your friend's in there and you have the worst tape, but they're like, well, I love her, but I'm gonna,
It's totally our
is
friends.
terrible.
It's
right.
our friends,
like,
it's
I'm
our
gonna
buddies,
vote.
it's people, like we're all, it's all our little community.
Not to diminish it, but it's just,
in one way
it's
that
interesting.
diminishes it. In another way, it kind of makes it special because it's like our family. It's our people voting. You know.
Well, the funniest thing is there was 1 year. I think it was after I had left. I think it was after I had left Y&R, and I got nominated for Days, and I was like, I'm a shoo-in because now I've got my folks from Y&R who are going to vote for me, and my folks from Days.
Totally, yeah.
And I was basically like just ready to get up on stage. And
you had your speech. You had your like 15-page speech. Go.
You were not in it. You were.
Oh, good. That's all.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Wait, and then what was it? So you leave GH for a bit, and then
Yeah, I left GH
because they told you to.
Cocky little shit. No. GH I left.
Oh, good.
I decided not to renew my contract because I was like, I'm gonna make something of myself, and I'm gonna. This was just a stepping stone.
Done that. Been there, done that. We all do that.
Go out there and find myself and be a big-time movie actor in superhero films. And then, like a few months later, cut to me like living back at home with my parents. And then I got a call to test for One Life to Live in New York.
Gotcha.
And that was I was only on that show for like a year and change, but to live in Manhattan.
I know. How do you feel about like bouncing back and forth between the two of them? How do you feel about like bouncing back and forth between the two of them?
Well, we have we have a job to do.
Right.
But I hate that. I mean, I that doesn't mean that I won't do
it. Right.
But I think that
you have to find something fresh every time it happens,
well,
right?
You
for yourself.
Absolutely have to do that. But there's this also. I think that we're on the precipice of soaps. Look, it's like adapt or die, right? And culturally, I think 20, 30 years ago, it was sexy and attractive for a man to be torn between two women who were fawning over him and him having to go back and forth, and it was the Ridge and Brooke and Taylor thing, right? That was attractive, that this man, that women are, and sure, I mean that was like soap bread and butter for a really long time, but I don't think we live in that world anymore, and I think that we're at a place now where that's not only not attractive, but beginning to be unattractive. And that doesn't mean you still can't play the story. It just means that when I'm playing Liam, I'm recognizing that I'm not playing the hero. I don't care how it's written. I'm not playing the hero. I'm playing that asshole that we all know, that we all tolerate, but we wish that he treated women better or treated anyone better, right? Like and And there's something entertaining about that too. Like I would never be friends with Liam in real life, but I can try. There's this weird paradox about soap operas, right? Where it's kind of the inverse of real life. In real life, if you meet a cheater and a murderer, right? The murderer, I mean, yeah, okay, this guy cheats and he shouldn't be cheating and that's not okay, but we're still friends, he made some mistakes and whatever. But a murderer, you stay the fuck away from that person. You want absolutely nothing to do with them. They're evil, they're a bad person, they're a murderer, right? In soaps, it's the opposite. If somebody's a murderer, it's like, well, whatever, like Sheila Carter, yeah, she's murdered like 5 people, whatever, but she's so funny, am I right? Like, blah, blah, blah. And they're so easy, it's so easy to redeem a murderer.
I think the fans like that, though. I think it's fun.
It's the heightened reality,
yeah.
right?
But with someone like Liam, who's trying to be a good guy, but he keeps breaking, he's insensitive or selfish or whatever, we as an audience, we tune right into that and we fucking hate that about him. We hate how he treats women, you know, and yet we know so many people in real life that are just like that.
Yeah.
And so it's like soaps give us this space to really hate the qualities in the people that we kind of have to be okay with in real life, and enjoy the qualities of people that we can't be okay with in real life. It's like it's an interesting switch.
I've never thought about it that way. But yeah, that makes sense when you lay it out like that.
Yeah.
Do you think does that influence like your thoughts about, you know, clearly you are someone who respects women and would not in your life.
No, me? No, not at all. I don't.
But I'm saying, but does that inform how you play him? That even if the words are coming out, if there is something that the audience is seeing, which probably is true. I would always say this about doing villainous things, that there was a vulnerability underneath that made people.
Well,
and I think that's also true of the murderers and all, and the Sheila Carters of the world.
Totally.
Well, I think that's why they love Liam too. I mean, there's a vulnerability you have that's just so endearing.
Yeah, I think there were stages of me figuring all this out. I think in the beginning I would fight what I perceived as Liam being written in a way that was not ethical, and I would try to fight that, whether I would say it differently or, you know, whatever. And then it got to a point where it wasn't worth doing that. It was just about making this guy, trying not to judge him, just trying to explain and have a theory of mind for why he would treat people this way. How is it possible to do this to someone and still think of yourself as the hero of your own story?
You have to justify everything.
Well, Christian LeBlanc said it's too broad a stroke to say, if someone were to ask you, do you like playing the good guy or the bad guy?
Yeah.
He said, because there are good people who do bad things, and there are bad people who do good things, and we're way more complicated than that.
Right. And so, I mean, almost every soap actor is more complicated.
I mean, every person in the world.
Soap character, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I've heard a little something about you.
Oh, I know you can do.
Can do voices and accents and
cartoon
characters and everything. What's your favorite?
Oh God, I don't know. I wanted to be a voiceover actor. That's what I wanted.
Well, why don't you do it?
I don't know how to break into that.
It is
very. It's kind of like soap operas. They protect their own, and it's a bubble. You gotta so.
Call your agent. I need you to get on. Do it for us. Do something for us, can you?
Well, also a great skill as a dad, right? When you're reading books, to have all those voices.
That's the fun. Yeah. That was something my girlfriend was going like. You need to. When I first met my girlfriend, I was in the middle of reading this like chapter book to my son every night, and it's called Dragon. It was like a whole like like a Harry Potter, but like with these kids, and each kid bonds with a dragon, and I had to come up with like all these voices for all the different dragons and all the different. One kid's from Dublin, one kid's from like Charleston, South Carolina, and then the dragons had to have different voices, and I came up with it just to read to him.
They had to happen.
They had to. Well, it did say, but when it didn't specify where the character was from, I was free to just make something up. But she was curious about that, and she asked me about it, and I started. I don't know how it ended up happening, but I read her a chapter like the way that I would to my son one night when we were hanging out, and she demanded that I like record a voice note and send her a chapter of this book every night. Not just because she liked the way that I would narrate it, but because she wanted to know what would happen next in the book. And so like every night I would like have to put forward to bed, and then I would go like record a chapter like I was reading. And now I basically have like they should pay me because I've done an audiobook of this like series. I've like done all the so that's another one that would be cool. It's like narrating.
Oh yeah, but look, I also feel like if you were in a situation where you're like, okay, I have the time and the bandwidth to really pursue that world, like you would thrive. Well, do you?
I'm very not ambitious.
We had Lawrence and Heather on together.
You know what? Go ahead. He just said he's not ambitious. I beg to differ.
No,
No, I'm really no. I'll die on that hill. We could talk about it, but I'm. It's funny.
But what was fascinating was those guys do everything except hang the lights at Bold, right? Like, you know. And I had said to Heather, because like you, I think I often have interests and things that I think I would be really good at, and then when push comes to shove, I'm like, I'm gonna hustle now and try and become, get my foot in the door of directing or something else. And she once our interview was over, was talking about how you just have to start doing the things that get you from here to there, which is oftentimes hard when there is the bandwidth of like being a dad and being a full-time working actor.
I know. I think there was something that changed in me at some point. When I was a kid, I like really wanted to be an actor, and I remember even getting into an argument with like Steve Burton once, where he was telling me how to like save my money and what you got to do is, and I was going, I don't care about being rich. I just want to be famous. I want to be like, and now it's your values change over time, and now I love my job because it allows me to have my life.
The life is what happens outside of the building.
And those are the things I value now.
Isn't it interesting when you're starting out on a soap and you're like, I'm going to go do something like bigger and better when this job is amazing.
I know.
I actually look at, like Melody Thomas Scott and Eric Braeden and people who have been on for really many, many, many years. I think, wow, what a feat.
Yeah.
And it is just extraordinary.
Yeah.
That you can have that life for that long.
To survive this business.
Yes.
And make a career decade after decade after decade after decade after decade. Is... But truly,
I didn't have a choice. My show got canceled, but I would have stayed on all my children for the rest of my days. I loved it.
I used to say about Young and Restless, I'm like, they're gonna claw me out of this building. And they did actually. No, but I remember I was at 41 when I found myself unemployed with a newborn.
I remember that.
Yeah. I did too. It wasn't great.
God.
But you think to yourself like, okay, I didn't set out to become. I don't know what I wanted in the beginning. I probably wanted the fame and the fortune, but I think very quickly I realized like, just like dipping my toe in this fame pool is enough for me. Like I don't enjoy that aspect of it very much.
I think there's only a handful of people in the world that would understand this, but fame, right? Like we have this society, we have this concept of fame, but it's not a monolith. There are different kinds and levels of fame. And look, Tom Cruise, he knows that anywhere he goes, everyone is going to know who he is. And yes, there's a sacrifice there of his anonymity and his privacy and his freedom to like go, okay, fine, sure. But there is this he's covered socially. He knows exactly what to expect in any situation. We go to a restaurant and maybe we're having a bad night, or maybe we're just not, or we're like tired or whatever, and we go to a restaurant and we order our food and then we're signing the check and then the waiter comes over and says, oh my God, I love you on the show. And you go, fuck, what? Okay, wait, I have to review everything that I just said. Was I an asshole? Was I ever rude? Did I, and now I spiral into this like paranoid, self-critical cesspool of, because we don't know who knows who we are and who doesn't. And it's actually reasonable to assume all the time by default that nobody knows who you are. That's the reasonable thing to assume.
Yeah.
but then every once in a while you get caught off guard and you feel.
Well,
I think sometimes it takes people time too, because they see us every day.
Yeah.
They sometimes think they know you from. They're like, how do I know that person?
Did I go to high school with you?
Sometimes,
No, you're on
because
my
I'll
team.
get like, did you go to University of Michigan? I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no. Do you come here all the time? No. Like they're kind of trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, but
totally.
Where's Tom Cruise?
But
They're like,
sometimes
I
they're
know
doing
who
that
you are.
disingenuously, and you know that they know, but they're trying to bait you into saying. I've had that interaction. I mean,
Well, I've
whatever,
had that too.
Joan Van Ark, who was a big primetime soap opera star in the 80s. She was on Knots Landing, and then she briefly played the character of Gloria on The Young and the Restless.
Oh, okay.
You'd know her if you saw her.
Yeah.
He's a lot younger than us, okay?
I mean, a lot younger
Like
than one
decades,
of us.
apparently.
So when she played my mom for a minute on Young and Restless, and a friend of mine.
Sorry.
So a friend of mine had just moved here and was walking down Beverly Boulevard and saw her and lost his mind. And he went up to her and he goes, "Aren't you Joan Van Ark?" Joan Van Ark, and she was like, "I am, but not today, honey. Today I'm not." And it was like, it was sweet, but also like her way of being like, it's not the right time.
Oh my God.
And he loves that story. And sometimes it can give you a good story, even if it's
true.
not
That
the
is-
story you wanted.
That is the best. Oh my God.
Man. That's great.
I've shared this. I think I shared this on the show already. That my first job, I went from being a waiter at California Pizza Kitchen on a Friday to flying first class to North Carolina to go shoot a season of Dawson's Creek on a Monday.
Oh my God.
And so I was towards the end of that, the run on that show, but I'm like getting used to being a working actor and flying first class and all of this.
Yeah.
And I was on the plane, and the guy sitting next to me is like, "I know you from somewhere," and I was like, "I bet you do."
Oh God, here it comes.
And then
Here it comes.
and I was like, "Well, I work on Dawson's Creek." He's like, "Nope, you were my waiter at California Pizza Kitchen."
No, he did not.
Yeah, didn't I tell that story?
No, you have not told.
But you know
this
what?
story.
It's those great.
Oh my God, that is.
No, they
so,
make for a great story.
And
That
also-
is so good. How is it being? I mean, these Okay, I
didn't
don't
say
even
anything.
know what he said.
It was a look. I didn't know the look. I wasn't.
Mutual admiration.
It
Smile.
was not
that's all.
it was not a look. It was not a look. It was just a.
So
I'll
they
say
have-
you want to look, you'll get a look.
you were you're into music, right?
Yeah, I've gone through phases. I really enjoyed. This is one of those things you just kind of figure out about yourself. Like acting, I knew I wanted to be an actor, and I went to acting classes, and I was terrible, but I got better and better. And music was something that just kind of I figured out I could do. But it was the writing. I really like writing songs, writing
I
music.
wanted to talk about that because even like on your Instagram or I wasn't there for Don Diamant's.
Oh yeah, it's
what was
40
it,
years.
40 or 45?
40 years,
40
yeah,
years, 40th
on daytime.
anniversary in daytime. And but I watched it, and your speech, I was just like, oh my God, you are such a good writer.
Oh, thank you.
No, and then on your
Thanks.
Instagram, you always have these like really beautiful
Yeah.
things that you write. So do you write? Do you do poetry? I mean, you said you write songs. So
Yeah, I
is
mean
this
that's
something you want to pursue? Because you're so good at it.
Oh my God! Thank you so much. That's my mother. My mother was an East Coast academic, like valedictorian. Like my mom is and always was an academic. She wanted me to be a lawyer. She wanted me to be, if not that, a psychologist or something. And I knew I wasn't going to be doing anything academic with my life. But she, she taught me how to write, how to structure, how to write. I mean, that was all. That wasn't even school. That was just she was a hard ass about how to. Well,
was
spelling and
important to
grammar,
her,
obviously,
so
but
it was
also how to tell a story, how to paint with words. She's a very good writer.
So you're not going to really.
Oh, to answer your question, no. I mean, I don't think. I like. I get most of my enjoyment writing. I'm not great. I've written some fiction stuff like for here and there, but I'm not. I don't read much fiction, and I've barely written any fiction. But I love philosophy, and I can write for days, about some philosophical idea that just in terms of like making a case for something or making an argument or just paint or even like kind of teaching a concept. I think I'm pretty good at taking a complex, nerdy, ivory tower concept and sort of making it digestible. That's the kind of writing I do enjoy doing. I know the Instagram posts and where I get all like flowery and like lovey-dovey about my son or whatever.
It's not easy though. No, it's not just so flowery. I mean, it's like meaningful.
No, yeah.
It's really sweet. And,
Thanks.
And what you said to Don, and I was like, God, he knows how to use words.
Wow,
And,
that is so cool. Thank you.
I mean,
wow, yeah, thank you.
Wait, so
you have to have heard that before.
Well, everybody on the day, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, that was such a good speech,"
No, but I
whatever,
mean, just
but,
even
like,
your writing, it's just good. Anyway.
Yeah. I've been. God, I get so fucking weird.
You don't like compliments very well. You don't take them very well.
I don't.
I don't either, so I don't judge.
Yeah,
do you get complimented?
Oh my God.
I love you, Becky Jo. I do. She's such a good. It's only fun because she's such a good sport, and clearly I don't mean any of it.
No, I know it's obvious.
When other people laugh, I'm like, they must feel the same way.
Anyway, wait, no, but what I wanted to ask you, because you touched on your philosophy, and I think we talked already about your YouTube channel. Do the people who reach out to you on there generally, and are they fans of the show who are just looking to connect? Are they people who are truly having some existential confusion and they look to you for guidance? Is it both? And do you feel like in that space, do you feel like you have influence in a way that you would like to, and is that satisfying, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, that's a fun. Okay, so this is where like you'll hear me start to get more comfortable, like patting myself on the back, which is a weird thing. But in that, I mean, there's on YouTube and just on the internet in general, whether it's, I mean, no matter what the site is, there are like entire communities of people that share common interests, right? There's a philosophical community on the internet where, and it's not so much that I have this platform and people are coming to me with questions or comments or whatever, but we're all just kind of, all those YouTube videos, if I'm making a YouTube video where I'm talking about a subject, it's because I'm engaging an issue or a question that's being discussed in that community. And I'm good at that, and I've been lucky enough to like have, I can get starstruck by certain philosophers, living philosophers that are around, and I've gotten to have like 2-hour-long recorded dialogues with like my favorite philosopher, and just pick each other's brains and stuff like that, and that's really, really, really fulfilling to me. I also, what I would do is I would create a video which has like some thesis in it, right? Like I'm making some case for something, I'm arguing some point. And then what I found would work was I would do that video and then you'd get all your comments or whatever. And then people in that community, I would do like this tour where I would show up on other people's podcasts or YouTube channels and defend my thesis, submit myself to criticism and let them try to poke holes in my and sometimes they do. And then you go, that's great. Well, I can revise my view there. But that makes me, I think, the happiest in life. Like when I get to think about that stuff is where I'm most at home.
That's pretty great. Sounds like a pretty good balance.
Should introduce you to my nephew. He's majoring in philosophy. I think it's
no kidding?
I think it's, yeah. And I just think it's a very unique person that can expound.
Yeah. Expound.
You're right.
Expound on like all these different ideas, and I don't know. I find that fascinating because I'm just not that smart.
Oh yeah. Yes.
No, but
you want to take this one? It's low-hanging fruit.
I know, but you're so good at it. What do we?
You have many talents. I'm sure.
Oh my God, you guys.
Becky Joe, you're very smart.
Oh, let's talk. Okay, before we go, because I know we've had you for like, I don't know, 2 hours at
It's
this
been
point.
a minute.
Dude, it
my
feels
God.
like 5 minutes.
Okay, wait,
This has
wait,
been so
listen.
fun.
I would love to
Like,
come
I mean,
back.
in like an hour. We'll do part 2.
Yeah, sure. I'll just like
We could just-
self-deprecate
you
all
can be
over
a You can
and
be
then
a
you'll
floater
have to,
and go. Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's what's going to be the hashtag for
Thank
this
you
thing.
so much for
Yeah,
being
thanks.
here.
Thanks for being here.
I am so honored that you guys thought of me and wanted to talk
You're
with me.
so
That
fun.
was,
No, this
that was
was
great.
one of the easiest, most fun interviews that we've done so far.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Nice. How can I ruin it next time?
Right.
I'll work on that.
And stick around. We'll be right back.